Are we started, do you think?
You want to?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, turn it off. Turn your ringer off.
Turn your ringer off and turn your comedy, your laugh machine on.
Hi.
Hi. Bum bum ba ba da boop boop ba doop ba doop boop.
Welcome to Thought Spiral, starring Andy Kindler
Ba-da-bing.
and his best buddy, J. Elvis Weinstein.
Da-da, ba-da-bop. Doop-doop, ba-da-bop.
Also featuring whinging.
I mean, more whining than the competition.
Forgetting.
Refusing to stop smoking pot.
Fearing forgetting.
Fearing that that Josh's battery will clam me up for about 20 minutes.
Josh is what?
If I think Josh is bad at me during the podcast, I'll clam up for 20 minutes, or I'll do my other classic. My other classic is pretending, trying to listen harder. There's nothing worse than where a person is listening harder. And also, guess what happens at the end of the show? Your goddamn questions. God damn all of you.
Welcome.
Hey, all right. It's Tuesday night.
You played along. That was good.
It's Tuesday night, right?
It is Tuesday night.
But they don't have to know that. Nobody has to know when we
That's
do
okay.
this.
We can lay them behind the curtain.
The Iron Curtain?
Yes. The irony curtain.
What do you see right here, Josh?
I see your phone.
My
It's
phone
back
that came
home
back.
with Andy.
Yes. Now, if you ever get your phone lost, you follow the following steps that I do.
Panic.
I'm getting better at that.
That's
getting
it.
better. But
Better,
I still have
like better meaning the quality of your panicking?
No,
or
I'm not.
the quantity?
No, usually I'm so panicked that I can't take any steps to resolve it.
Right.
Like I left it in the van.
Okay.
That took me to the airport from the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, where there were a lot of Thought Spiral fans.
I saw
They
a
said they could
picture.
fill up the space.
A car. Is the
No,
space.
but they said if you came back, I said I know. Now they're telling. Now they're asking me.
Oh,
to
so
bring, they want us to bring it to town.
Oh, they can four-wall it for
They
us.
think they can four-wall it for
Wow.
us.
That would be something.
But during the next Moon Tower, if I had gotten off my
Leaping and hopping on a moon tower.
Oh, I thought you were going the other way.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Mike Rowe used to say, "I'm being followed by a boom shadow."
Yes.
And he wouldn't stop.
I bet.
And so I lost my phone there
Yes, you left it in a van on the way to the airport?
on the way to the airport,
Okay.
and I panicked. And but not that much. Not
Were
that
you
much.
You were with Susan,
I was with Susan.
so she had a phone.
Yeah,
She
that would
she
be
was
hard
on.
without any phone.
Yeah.
How would you do anything? Game's over. Cancel everything.
That's right.
But now one of our people who listens to our show, Dana Schwartz.
Yes.
Okay, so I put it right into this is just you don't have to do this, but if you have an iPhone, you can put it into lost mode. We did locate it. It was in the van, and they were going to and they shipped it to me overnight.
Right.
But you can say phone is lost. It locks the phone.
It bricks it,
bricks it.
essentially, for all intents and purposes.
And this phone is lost, it says. You can call Susan Malgin's number. Well, it wasn't say Susan Malgin, but Susan Malgin's number. And I was unbelievable. But Dana said that, pointing out that they can pop, if it's a bad person who gets my phone,
Yeah.
they can pop out the SIM card. Now, I want to know, do you know what he's talking about? I think I know what he's talking about. There's a card in there.
Yeah.
So, in other words, if that card's taken, we're sunk.
Well, yeah, you're kind of sunk in terms of your data. Your personal data goes with the card.
Right.
Your
right.
identity is tied to that card more than the phone.
Yeah, so then what? So it doesn't help them to turn the phone off or to wipe the phone.
It helps. It
It
still
helps.
helps.
It still
Don't
helps.
let Dana Schwartz make you feel bad for.
No, he
actually-
didn't. He was actually saying, first of all, I had to then decide whether the people who had it were bad guys, but they were the festival,
Right.
And I trusted them.
Where's the win for them screwing you over?
And then every question Susan asked me, I just answered whatever would be the best for me.
Yeah,
Did you have any credit cards on that phone?
No.
No. Well, I don't have anything in my. I don't like the Apple Wallet.
Yeah.
Do you put things in the Apple Wallet?
I put boarding passes in the Apple.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Here's your tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't Apple Pay. I don't.
I know, but is it because we're too old?
Because the other way isn't too hard. That's the thing.
Well, is
like
this
why invest all that anxiety into one item like your phone?
Well, it definitely. I don't see how it's easier.
Anyone finds my phone, they can fuck me over 9 different ways to Sunday. So it's not like I've got this whole thing wired. I can't live in constant paranoia.
No, I hear the sprinklers come on. You said they would come on. Now I hear them come on. Good thing you warned me. Because now I was ready to make a meal out of it. Hey, what is it? What is it, Josh? Was it monsoon season just on your lawn? That would have been one of the ones I would have gone for. Hey, or I could have done this. What is that, like a sprinkler system? That
the first one was better. Monsoon season was better. I'd go A so far.
Okay. I wonder if it's one of ours. Doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it for the drought. Right?
You could go, that's it for the drought. Way to help out.
Yeah, that's right. Way to help out. So I guess you don't care that somebody tonight in Fresno can't grow a raisin or whatever they grow up there. They grow things up there.
Yeah.
I pretend to be, I wanted the show to be, I pretend to be the dumb one.
Yeah. How's that going?
Well, I didn't have to do much pretending. But you didn't come in with the answer man. And a lot of don't you? First of all, are you angry at me because you haven't been sending me any thought spiral mail?
No, I just haven't. I'm behind myself.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
See, I assumed that you're angry because my image of you.
You never assume that I am. You know how you know when I'm angry?
What?
I'll tell you.
Would you punch me?
I will so tell you if I'm angry. I'll tell you early in the anger curve.
How about when we were at breakfast with the Showbiz Studios?
No, I felt bad that you were starting to feel all beaten up.
I was very happy with myself that I was able to, however I was feeling hurt.
Yeah,
I was able to say, okay, don't feel hurt. I didn't feel hurt anymore.
No, you did good. I thought.
Yeah,
I could see the whole process.
It wasn't like a walk away. Like, well, now I have to. Because I could have said this. Well, now I have to go, and I have to wake Susan up, and I have to go now.
Right.
All right. See you guys later. No, thank you. It was a healthy man, not a healthy man, but a man on his way to being healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know, Josh. Ever since I got this therapy thing. And everything, it's more complicated now. Now I have to think about things, and it's not the same as it was when I just didn't listen and blamed everybody.
Well, let's bring everyone up to speed what we're talking about.
Yes.
So we had breakfast with Alex Brazil of
Showbiz Studios,
the biggest man in show business. If you want to be in show business, he's your man.
No, if you want to be in show business.
That's what I said.
Is that what you said?
That's of course
what
I
said.
So I
ruined your joke.
Why would I say show business? What does he have to do with that?
Do you know Martha Kelly, the comedian?
Yes.
She's very funny.
I don't know her, but yeah.
She's very funny, but I joked with her. You should be in shy business because she's very shy in the shy business. Okay, so Showbiz was out here. By the way, who picked up the check? I forget.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah. And you know what I justify then? That's like, I picked up that check, so I don't have to lift a finger to help anybody.
Right. Sure.
Okay, so we had a little breakfast.
I think everything was going swell.
It was going pretty
We talked about your movie deal, which we need to talk about tonight.
Oh, man.
And
I am really starting to swagger a little bit.
Are you? Do you have swag?
Well, no. Well, I've interviewed 3 more hosts.
Are you sure you don't mean stagger?
I've interviewed many more hosts in case. No, if I get to the next level, I can have somebody like boom, 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 boom. That's what I want. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
A guy who's like writing, talking, and submitting things to me.
Right. You could bring that along still.
Okay, so you set the table. Well, you were at the table.
I was at the table.
French press coffee.
All around.
Yes.
And I think it was basically we started at the end. It was Alex it was like, it's like the sort of, because we're at the 1 year mark.
Yes.
It was sort of, I think, a State of the Union kind of talk.
Without the humor part?
Without the humor. No, not the state of the industry, the State of the Union. That never has the humor part. And then I think talk got around to like what Andy could do to help, and that's when all hell broke loose.
Oh, yeah. So how did you, I want to see from your side what happened, and I'll explain to you what was happening from my side.
I saw your head going, I'd like to help, but if I make a promise, I'll fail, and then I'll hate myself, and I'll hate them too for making me feel bad. So
what should that? That would have been the old Andy Kindler right away.
But that's the pattern, right? I got that.
That is the no. Wait a second. So
that's what you were trying to. You were fighting against it at the same time. But
I make this promise. I'm not going to follow through.
Right.
So, and what was the last part of that? So,
and then I'm going to hate myself
first,
and then I'm going to hate you for making me feel bad and hate myself.
Right. That's it's a perfect description of my life.
Yeah.
To this point.
Don't say I haven't been paying attention.
That's not a good thing. That's not good. Okay.
And then you did throw in hey, I'm fine with everything the way it is. It doesn't have to get better.
No, well, who was saying it needed to get better?
No, I don't think anyone was. I think you were. That was your way of sort of pushing back, going, I'm not going to help, but on the bright side, I don't care if it gets better. Everything's fine as it is. So you can't fault me because I never wanted it to get better. So, and I don't care that much one way or the other, I think, making it better is always better.
Right.
Or making it worthwhile, or ultimately.
I don't want to make it better. We would both like to have more people listen to it.
We'd like to have more. Yeah, we're trying. The discussions are all about building.
Yeah, we want to do it our way.
Yes.
And I wanted to have now one time during the meal I said I'd like to have a pot shop, and you said we're not the pot shop. So you actually were thinking I was pitching that we turn into Cheech and Chong, or you thought that we would just get it? So hey. Man, we're still sponsored by Greenland Pottery. And so what? And then what happened?
I don't know. I think it all kind of.
But then you saw me not get upset, right?
No, I saw you hit bottom and bounce back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You did.
That's good. So
by the time we parted, it seemed like you weren't going to spiral the rest of the day.
Well, not the good kind of thought spiral.
No.
The bad kind of spiral.
Yes.
Where you don't want to do thought spiral. You don't want to go back to your wife. Even the guy at the. Oh, by the way, on the subject of smoking too much.
Yeah.
I went to my box yesterday.
Yeah.
And Jaime, my friend, took me aside and he says, his boss said, "Is that guy was he like a pothead? Because apparently I smelled like pot."
Yeah. Okay.
And how could that be? Since I've been quit for 6 weeks. Who is it? Was it Yoshimoto? We had all kinds of. I quit for 3 weeks. Then all I needed to do was look at pot, and I got high. And then I did it for. And I said, "Is this an intervention?" And then he says, "Not the kind you think it is." And you guys are intervening. There's no.
Let me just set the record straight right now.
Why is there a record?
The only context in which I think you should stop smoking pot is because you're panicking about your memory loss.
Oh, I see. This is good to know.
I truly believe that it's not helping with the memory loss. So, and I think you should either rule it out or accept it.
Rule it out.
But that's the only context in which I give a shit about you smoking pot. It's not like you're not being productive enough. It's not that. It's not you're annoying. It's literally the only way I would suggest not smoking pot is because it's panicking you to lose your memory, and I believe there's something to do with it.
Okay, so now this is a perfect example of what's wrong with me, but what could be so right with me when I'm cured. I immediately assume you're saying, I take it like you're not that you're not saying it for the memory thing,
right?
But then I'm thinking, I say, oh, he must be thinking the shows are slipping.
No, I play an open hand. I really do. And
because you have a thing that you do. You live your life honestly. So it's different.
I try. I mean, not with everyone, but with you, because we talk once a fucking week. I don't talk to anyone else more except my wife. So
right.
So yeah, I don't want you to think I think you're a derelict. I don't think you're doing a bad job on the show. It's only the concern of, in the context of your memory stuff. I think there's probably some connection, and I think you should find out what A versus B is.
Yeah, that would be good.
And it would probably take a couple. Long would they always say like a month clears it out. Like when people are taking tests, drug tests. It seems like
I've stopped for a month before.
Yeah.
And then I had that experience with the first day you smoke again. You're like, boo, bow, bow. But that doesn't last.
No, it doesn't last
forever.
It doesn't last forever. No.
Well, see, the thing.
So, but that's, but take it, don't take it as as a lifestyle commentary.
Well, here's what I talked about you in therapy. I talk about you every week in therapy. But I had to talk about something more important than our relationship first.
Yeah, good.
There's nothing more important than that. No, I was talking about like, me, get the big heavy things out of the way. And then we have extra time. I go, what else is in the therapy news? So I told her, well, next week I want to tell you about the argument, whatever that was.
Okay.
Okay. And she goes, you know what she says to me? She goes, okay, because I want to hear how he it's like how he asked you, right? And how you thought he was asking you, right?
Okay.
Because you used a word that I was very impressed with when I left. You said, look, I didn't mean to be acrimonious.
Right.
And already I was like, I felt like a little bit one-upped on the words. And Dana Gould used the word risible.
Ah, okay.
Have you heard that one?
I have.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like something's horrible. It's like it's a really terrible thing.
Okay.
But that can't be the exact. So here's the thing. I was saying awkwardly that what you were thinking I was saying, which is like one time, like to me, like showbiz. I brought showbiz on board. You were against anybody helping us. I brought showbiz on board so he could expand the opportunities.
Right.
So like when he emailed me, hey, why don't you bring it to Moon Tower? You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I kind of in a way feel I dropped the ball. And I feel like I dropped the ball in many areas of my life because I have an assumption it's going to be too hard. It's so in a way I feel guilty. Like it could have been at Moon Tower.
I think it absolutely could have been. I think it's one of those places where you have the kind of standing where you could say
I want
ask
to be at Moon Tower.
and
Yes.
make it happen.
So I'm willing to.
But I'm also not mad because it's not like it's like a dream of mine to go do a podcast in Texas. It would be fun,
right?
But it's not like fucker. I'm not mad about it.
No, but it's
another way to bring more people in, I think.
But my initial concerns were, in general, that. So anyway, as I'm expressing it, because I wanted to make it like, well, let's make this happen, but I'm not going to know, and I'm not sure if I can do one. I could hear myself sounding like I'm coming up with an excuse. That's how it sounded to me. But it was more of a thing like, I could sense, it was like, I don't want to overpromise, like you said. And then I could sense that I was being perceived as someone who was trying to get out of doing something.
Right.
And I felt even more like I was talking that way.
Right.
Because you feel as guilty as you...
Well, you were, in a sense, you were trying to get out of doing something. By saying that, I don't want to promise anything because I won't deliver.
No, I don't think. I think that's how it sounded, right? But I don't think that's ultimately how I feel. I think that's just another nervousness that I go through.
And that's okay. I've seen you freeze up before. No, but I think the answer is the hybrid solution, which is you make a call.
Yes.
And go, I'm going to introduce you to, and they go, yes, we'd love to have you do your podcast.
I'm sure that they would have loved to have had
And you go, okay, great. I'm going to have my producer Alex call you, and he can then set it all up.
Right. That's
and
what
then
it
you
should
dump
be.
all that shit onto Alex.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
And he produces.
Yeah.
and then you've helped the team.
Right.
Right. And Alex has helped the team. And I fucking get a ride for a while.
Well, that's the thing. What's unacceptable, like, I know that it's not that I could get into this mode where I don't really think I'm the type of person who says, I'm going to do it my way, and if you don't like my way, then forget about it. But it's more like, it's like when I tell people I have OCD and they give me a blank stare, nobody wants to hear it as an excuse, kind of. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, like, people... I'm communicating a thing that does sound like I'm not going to do anything or whatever.
Kinda. Just like you said, I'm fine with how it is. I'm mostly the same way,
Right.
There's a certain point where you want to, whenever you're doing something, you want it to grow or get better or one of those things.
Yeah.
So,
But nothing can happen when you're in the mode of where you're feeling, like in that mode. I just was feeling weird in that moment.
No, I know you felt cornered, and that certainly wasn't what I was hoping to bring to the table.
So I think going forward,
that felt more like an intervention than the podcast.
Well, the thing is, though, is like we want to expand, and I think the thing is like
it's hard because it's a sideline.
I think
it's like I understand that time you take to, and I'm not saying this as a criticism. Please know this up front. But like time that either of us take to promote this is time we're not promoting us or our thing.
Right.
So it has to be sort of a choice to go. We're putting our energy into this thing.
Right, but sometimes like I used it as an intro at Moon Tower because I figure I want to draw people to it. Now at Moon Tower, I was approached by I put the picture online. I don't know if you saw the picture.
I did.
Of me with Perush, Tweet Bahar, which is still the greatest
handle,
and then Kathy McCarty, I think I'm getting the name right. And then, but a couple of places, people said, I love, they said that's the first thing they said to me.
That's great.
Was that they loved the show.
Good.
And so the thing is, my problems don't have to be anybody else's problems. They really shouldn't be anybody else's problems. So my problem, if you're my friend and I'm telling you on the podcast about why I'm having all these difficulties, that's one thing.
That's entertainment.
That's what they pay. That's worth the price of admission.
Right.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what is on the whinge agenda. But so the thing is, a lot of my fears. So like I started to think, well, like I thought Montreal. I think I'd be too nervous to think about having to do the podcast, maybe. But that's another thing I'm setting up.
Are you?
No, that's another thing I'm setting up in my mind.
Gotcha. Damn it.
See, when I came back from Moon Tower.
Here's an alternate theory of Montreal. How great would it be for you to actually have me on site writing your jokes for your fucking speech?
You mean, how great would it have to be the guy who writes the speech to be there?
Yes. We could write all the way down the hotel hallway.
There's also one in Toronto that's coming up, and there's also one, and I think about the Montreal one. I think it's time for me now to think about, and if someone like Alex Show Business, if he's got to really we got to blame him for everything.
Here's the request I ask you, just for my own edification. If you're trying to set it up at a festival, get me at least one other set.
Yes, yeah.
Because I don't want to just go there to be a podcast.
No. That's why Moon Tower, when I came out, it was like, that would have been perfect. And not only that, though, their podcast part of this festival is now starting to be something they do every year.
Yeah.
So I think it would be great because it's a very relaxed festival too. It's too late for this year.
Yeah. So just another year and.
No, because we have other things, and then the other thing is I do want to go like when I go to Seattle, do one night of comedy and one night of the other thing.
Yeah.
But what if we don't have guests? What are we going to do then? Are we not into the stratosphere? How many people listen a week to the show? You can tell me off the air.
I'll tell you off.
Okay. And is it like Trump's approval rating? It stays the same.
It's slightly better than Trump's approval rating in terms of its arc.
Right.
But it's not like Beyonce's approval rating after Coachella.
But you know what though? It's also it interests me that there's one side of this business that even if it was just about promoting me, and when it's just about promoting me, I drop so many balls, and I'm wondering what it is. No, I think maybe as I get better as a person, all these things will improve. That's what I'm hoping. And they are getting better. Like I probably return email. I'm doing things much better because I wasn't even looking at my email when I was in the Twitter hell.
Yeah.
The Twitter meltdown was the low point of my illness.
Yeah.
And
now you have Dershowitz.
This Dershowitz. What's so weird too? It's like this Twitter thing. It can be. I can start to feel how. Oh, this could go bad. This could go bad. But the feeling right before it goes bad, I have so much joy going after someone like Dershowitz.
Right.
Because he's such a prick.
Yeah.
What does he think? What do you think? Do you think he's always been a douchebag and now it's just he's really desperate?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's always been a douchebag. He's often been a douchebag on the right side of history. But he was also the douchebag on OJ's team, so. But
what I don't like about this particular thing he's doing is this isn't about constitutional law. he's basically saying, I don't think there's probable cause. He doesn't even know the evidence.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
he's just being a Trump hype man.
I know. And so do you think you think he's going out with Trump? Do you think he's getting paid by Trump? Do you think he must, I think he's lying when he goes, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I think he's a right-wing person and who's trying to hide like he's a progressive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think he's a progressive. I mean, he's a civil liberties guy. But that's a different,
it's a different thing.
You can be a staunch constitutionalist and be a civil liberties guy.
Yeah, but he makes it seem like people reading it think that he's an expert on the other side saying something.
Right.
But what he's saying, you don't have to be a constitutional law professor.
No, he's being a pure pundit.
Yeah, he's being a pure pundit because he's like, I don't think there's anything there.
Right.
Well, you don't think there's anything there.
Well, the other thing he'll say is, yeah, you can find a crime anywhere if you look for it. Well, that's, you shouldn't be able to shake your president and have crime fruit come off.
I think we both saw the same one, like on a CNN appearance where he was doing that.
I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah. God, I don't see how anybody can go on. I could not go on Fox News. I mean, maybe I will be one day, so I shouldn't.
I doubt it.
But I couldn't. It's like
they can do a background check.
If you're eating with Trump and you're at Fox News every day, what have you become, Mr. Dershowitz?
All right.
I mean, this isn't like the high-minded Klaus von Bülow trial.
Right.
Well, what else? What else happened in Texas? Nothing.
So you had fun at the festival. Yes. Let's just wrap that up.
Let's wrap it up. I love Austin, and I would love to. I would be there so much. If it didn't get hot, it might be a city. Well, why I wouldn't move there? Why am I saying? Who cares if I move there?
You're not moving to Austin, but it's nice that you're loved there.
This is why I think I should move to Austin. Because you know how I do that thing where I go to an airport and I stand on a revolving stage with my Everybody Loves Raymond DVDs and make eye contact?
Right. That's actually the luggage carousel.
Luggage carousel? Right. Oh, well, I knew it seemed like it was made for it. Now, I don't know what I was going to say. It's the first to panic, forget. Oh, no. When I'm in Austin and I walk downtown, I recognize a lot. A lot. Now, I'm walking downtown during the festival.
Yeah, sure.
I'm walking downtown during the festival, and I'm staying at the hotel where all the venues are. And I think when I go out, everyone knows me.
Yeah.
Because a few people who are in line to see something in a venue say, Andy Kindler. But why do I need that? Why can't I just be happy without the, I like your comedy?
Well, why fight that?
You should just be glad someone likes your comedy.
That's the one where you go, why question that? It's like, yes, I have an ego and it happens to get fed that way. Great.
Yeah.
If you're going for totally shameless, needy, opportunities for it, then you might examine it. But just with the walking, that's great. If it's what you want.
The thing about it is to be honest and say, like, I do kind of want to get recognized in a way.
Sure. Well, you've been trying to get famous for 30 years. It's nice when you are.
Right. But I always, like, when there was
that's what I love. I'm sorry. I'll let you finish. No.
But that's like people say you got into this business to be like the way like Zach Galifianakis can't walk around anywhere.
Right.
That's not why people get into it.
Right.
But they always say that's what you wanted.
No, you want exactly the way you want it.
I wanted exactly. Yeah. I'm happy now.
And that was what was so great about the Cinematic Titanic experience. Is we were so famous in the theater.
Yes.
And you got just this amazing wall of love when we came on stage, and then we stayed after every single show and signed for literally hundreds of people. And it's like, if your ego is hungry after that, then you're broken. And then you walk outside and you're back to normal. And it was just like the perfect amount.
Yes, yeah.
Like once in a while, someone would recognize you within a couple of blocks of the theater.
Yeah.
But but it was like such a nice balance of love me and then leave me alone.
Love me, yeah, right. And it's not like we've engineered our careers this way. It's not like we purposely said,
no. I
want to be below the radar. I want to be known,
right,
but not that well known.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I'm just and there's only moments of it that I've had. But like I did the improv last night.
You did Amy Miller show or
Amy Miller and
cool.
Lydia Popovich.
Cool. I know those people.
And apropos of Lydia Popovich introduced me in this like really like
grand way.
He's an icon. He was MST, Tom Servo, so important, and I was just like, that's so inappropriate.
Nobody wants to be. I will dig a deep hole for.
I mean, of course, it's flattering, but then you walk up, and I literally really wanted to open up with, how many people have you ever heard of me ever? And it would have been two hands, maybe.
Was this the lab?
Yes, yeah. But it was pretty full because Judy Tenuta was in the show.
Judy Tenuta, yes, I love Judy Tenuta.
It was very fun. It was fun to see her,
despite
having to go on after her.
You went on after her?
Yeah.
And what is she? She doesn't play accordion, or
she does. Yes,
ah.
She's still Judy Tenuta. I mean, it's still Judy Tenuta's act, and it was very fun. It was fun to see, and
I see her over at every once in a while. I'm not going to name drop, but I get to go over to Fred Willard's house. That is exactly what name drop.
Yeah, I think that's in the pocket.
Yeah, try to present that as not being name dropping.
Yes,
but I saw Judy Tenuta at one of the events.
Yeah,
and it was fantastic. She was there, and I've also met. I'm not speaking out of school to tell you. I've met Ms. Joanne Worley.
That's amazing.
She is still delivering the shtick. She loves it.
Gruber and I, when I was on later, every and Kinnear would just suck sometimes, or just like do something that we hated, I'd walk in this morning and. He would go, "Oh, hey, Joanne Worley, did you see the show last night? Mm-hmm. What'd you think about it? Lame!"
But Kinnear didn't hear this, right?
No,
we don't want him to hear that.
No, it wasn't like, what's that smell? It's coming from the monologue.
Now he doesn't. Where's he? I haven't seen him in a while. He's doing fine. Don't worry about it.
He does movies. It seems like he's done a few of those Christian release movies that like do super well at the box office, but you never hear of.
You mean like the Passion of the Christ?
No, like one level production.
But they're Christian.
Like guy who goes to court to defend the existence of God movie that tons of church groups go to see. And they make shit tons of money.
Where do we get into that? Why don't we make, as you say, shit tons of money? What is it? Why?
Because some of us are afraid of success, Andy.
Well, I know that, but nevertheless, is there a way that? I'm not afraid of success. I'm more into self-sabotage.
Yeah.
I'm an enthusiast of self-sabotage enthusiast.
I have this topic that keeps floating in and out of my head, like, oh, good, I got to talk about it, and then it's gone, and I'm in a gone phase right now.
Okay, well, I know you're going to think about it.
So if I go, blah, it'll be
okay.
That. Okay.
Well,
let's talk next about your movie.
Yeah, now this guy, C.J. Wallace, this kid. I call them kids now. You know why I call them kids? Because I'm 40 years old. This kid, C.J. Wallace, is like what I was hoping that Showbiz Studio.
Oh man, he hears this.
I know, but he has to know that I'm kidding.
This is very
around.
passive aggressive, is what this is.
Oh, then I should apologize. Right. But I kind of like. Why do I enjoy this?
He must like it too.
But this guy, C.J. Wallace, he directs these movies. I don't even know how he gets the funding, but he does everything. It's like. He wants to shoot a promo. So, boom, he drives from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, where he's getting ready for this movie. We shoot the promo. He's like from that age where, let's shoot something. Boom, we're shooting it in about 4 seconds.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I should do a pilot. And a year later, I still haven't released my album from 2013.
Yeah.
This kid's a go-getter, though.
Yeah.
And this movie, he's like... He's very. First of all, it's like.
So you're co-starring in this film. Let's lay some groundwork for the listeners.
Yeah, but this movie's very confusing because it's about a race. It's kind of I can't even say what's happening because it's got a sting. It's got a sting aspect to it.
A heist.
And when I say sting aspect, I mean a guy who is as handsome as Paul Newman is in it.
Right.
Which would be me. And I think he's written this. I have a chance with this part. He's written it for me.
Yeah.
I can't not get the
And you're
part.
playing a former jockey?
Yeah, can you believe that? I'm 5'5". There's no way. I looked that up, and it is a way. That's the upper level.
They used to call him Giant Jim Johnson.
Because I was the tallest. I don't believe that there's any jockeys 5'5.5", though. Do you?
There probably was back in the day when it was less scientific.
Are they all 4'10" now?
Yes, they are, boss.
What is it with you and little people?
I don't know.
You hate little people.
I don't hate them, but I'm sure amused by them.
I hope that you're not going to go into more of these little people impressions.
No, I won't. I'm very self-conscious now.
So
you're playing, so that's great. And it's like Bitterman is the name of the
Barry
character.
Bitterman.
Oh, okay.
The movie's called The Fiddling Horse. A fiddling horse is a horse that you know. I don't know. I'm not giving it away, but a fiddling horse. First of all, it's not coming out yet, so you'll forget the spoiler alert.
Well,
But
it's not a spoiler alert if it's the title.
Spoiler alert! We can't tell you the title until you go in. Spoiler
The
alert!
Avengers get into an infinity war. Shh.
But you know, a fiddling horse is like a horse that never wins.
Yeah.
It's like a dead end.
Yeah.
Right. All I know is that I've never been in a movie. Well, I claim I've been in movies, but like on Showtime.
Yeah.
So this is my film debut.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's right. I'm not going to forget you, Josh. When I'm in the... He keeps thinking... I keep trying to sell the egomaniacal character.
Yeah.
And you're not biting.
Well...
If you had something to
Start doing more stuff and I'll miss it.
I saw that. I knew. See, we're starting to think alike.
That's great.
Did you remember?
I didn't remember the thing.
Oh, come on.
That's all right.
Well, I read this article that I was going to tell you about. Do you want me to say it, or wait till you think of it?
No, go.
There's a great article in the New Yorker about addiction. And basically they were talking about how this woman was writing a memoir about her life. She's a writer, and the whole thing is that she's hoping that so many writers hope that when they quit drinking, they'll be able to come up with the great novel.
Right.
And she was just saying that it's like that's a false idea, is that you're going to quit and then come up with and so it's almost like saying like it's hackneyed what's happening to her in other words, that's how she's feeling bad.
Right.
It's already hackneyed what I'm doing.
Right.
The story's been told before. And so it's very interesting because it talked about the origin of like the 12-step program, and that before the 12-step program there was the idea that there was any disease element to drinking was never thought of, But as using the disease model for it, it's not completely a disease, but it was a good step forward to getting people to not just blame them and say, "Oh, you're a lazy bum, that's why you drink."
Right.
That you actually have addictive nature to it.
Right.
So I thought this article was great, but one thing the guy who was in the New Yorker, they have these book reviews where you can learn so much about the topic. And then you never have to read the book.
Feels like you read the book, yeah.
Right. So this psychotherapist who was reviewing the book was fascinating to me. And one of the fascinating things he said was that we're taught in our life that if we follow our dreams and we could do the right thing, we will get rewarded for it.
Right.
That is a false belief. And it's like, you should do it because you want to do it, but thinking you can guarantee or doing the Tony Robbins kind of positive thinking thing is actually unhealthy in a way, an unhealthy thing to teach everybody.
Right.
Because it teaches you that that the most important thing is that, first of all, it teaches you that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish something, which isn't necessarily true, or that it's your fault if you don't.
Well, there's a difference between you can be anything you want and you can be anything you want.
What do you mean?
I mean, yes, anybody can, all goals are achievable. Mm-hmm. Not every goal is achievable by everybody.
Right. But let's say people that you thought were hilarious, right?
Yeah.
And they even say Bill Bauer.
Sure.
And you could say, well, why wasn't Bill Bauer more of a name? I'm beginning to maintain that there's no necessarily rhyme or reason to. You could look at everyone's career and go, okay, he wasn't known because of this, or they weren't known. But the idea that you can predict how good they were who didn't make it, or how fun. We know they're not funnier because they're rich, right? So it's just a weird thing. It's like I got me to thinking, yeah, I kind of really, when I was young and wanted to be famous, that was what I was like, I want to be famous, I want to be famous. And now that I'm older and I just, want to do good work or want to express myself,
right.
And so it's like, I don't know, I thought that resonated with me, what that guy was saying about how, we're taught. It's like Lenny Bruce, and there's in the documentary about Lenny Bruce is so great. It's called Swear to Tell the Truth. And at one point they have him actually saying, what is. Everything else is just a fantasy that was taught to you.
Right.
And I'm not saying as good as he did. But I like that idea of, because I think it's true about me, and I think it's true about many, many people. Like, if I do this, the future will be like that. Whereas, if I could feel good if I could get my mind straight in the moment, whatever that means, that's really all you can accomplish. You don't have to agree with me.
Well, I'm a lot of the way with you.
I'm not explaining it quite as well.
Right. I mean, I've always been not always. It was a learned belief that there's no such thing as showbiz justice.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't exist. It's not part of cosmic. It's not part of the karma sphere.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a whole lot of things that have to add up for someone to have showbiz success. And I've laid this out to you on this podcast before, my thing of like, there's incredibly talented people and some of them succeed. And there's incredibly ambitious people and some of them succeed.
Right.
And there's some incredibly talented, incredibly ambitious people, and like all of them succeed.
Right. Yeah.
There is a certain formula where if your talent can match your ability to work the system, those people generally have some level of success.
No question.
Just because it's like almost muscle memory for everybody to react to those people,
Right.
But, some from every category succeed, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's, talent is the biggest variable because we all know broken geniuses, and we all know tons of people who, are incredibly skilled at everything but life,
Right.
And, and they don't always make it, and they don't always want to.
They don't always want to. That's the thing that's interesting too, is because it's just the whole idea like that you're projecting. So I guess I'm saying like sometimes you're projecting your own things on other people. Like if friends I started out with, maybe I feel sad they don't do comedy anymore. Maybe they couldn't care less.
Right.
It's like, I'm assuming.
Well, there's a lot of people who I'm sure they have a regret, but they're also like, no, I made a deliberate choice that my life could be better a different way.
Right. Or they had, like, one of the things I always say is like, what if I had kids? I probably would have had to make different decisions if I had to put food in someone's mouth. The whole family would have died if I had kids.
Hopefully you would have married someone smart enough to, have a great fucking job.
I'd marry up. You know me.
Yes.
I'd marry up.
You did.
That's true. But I just think it's a weird thing. It's like, if you go anywhere along the continuum of you create your own reality, obviously is a misunderstanding, because I was listening to this church. It was a story on NPR about this guy in I don't know even where he was. No, it was in the States, and he formed his own church on the basis of he did not agree that if you have to believe specifically in Jesus for to be saved, and that became very important to him. And then he had this whole movement that way, saying, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, he believes in God, but he doesn't believe in a God that would say these people die in the Holocaust. That's what his enlightenment was saying. I can't tell people they have to believe in Jesus Christ.
Right.
To believe. So what I'm saying is, I think
to the exclusion of
all other things.
Only Christians get saved, as he doesn't believe.
Right, and he couldn't, and that's what, and then, like, he had a lot of controversy from it, but then he had people who follow him. So I think it's like, it's not that the answer is you have no control over what's happening in your life and you're just out there at sea. I do think people lose the connection between what they want to do and the joy of it because they get only involved in the success part of it.
Right.
So I think it's more like, I feel that you do influence the reality, that we're all in it together, that there is a spiritual thing to it, but it's just, I don't believe so much in like destiny and things like that, or that even destiny, what you think it is, means anything. Like, I wish I had been as big as Marilyn Monroe, you know? It's like, It doesn't even mean anything. In a certain sense, it's all your projection of, when I die, will I be remembered like Cary Grant? You know what I mean? It's all your projected ego stuff.
Right.
And none of it is, and it can keep you from doing anything.
Right.
Because you just think, if I can't guarantee the success of it, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I feel, honest to God, that I feel so divorced from
the success, from the worrying about success,
from the results side of the ledger. Because I mean, I've had to work at it, you know, and some of it, I'm sure, is adjusting to, I'm not getting what I want in show business. How can I justify this in my mind? But, you know, but it really does, you know, I'm really happy when I'm making stuff, and I'm really not when I'm not. And so over the last many years, taking that control out of other people's hands has been super empowering, you know, making my own things and not having to ask people if I can make it. Felt great. And, you know, but I don't have that other side of the ledger of being a super producer or a super promoter.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I've had to sort of go, well, you know, if you're going to be you have to keep making shit and stop. And, you know, since you're not good at that other stuff, you know, you either have to get better or accept that it's not going to have a huge audience, but you made it, you know?
Right, right.
And so I am at that kind of piece. Of course, I want to get better at the asking for things side of the ledger, and, you know, but in the meantime, you know, the other choice is just be paralyzed and wait around for shit to happen, you know?
Yeah, I guess the thing is, I'm still like, because I've gotten to therapy so late, so it's a big revelation for me, but I'm still in this revelation that of how my relationship to music was based on what other people thought about it.
Right.
And me just not, me being stubborn and going, I'm going to do it anyway, but still not enjoying it at some point because I was so self-conscious about it, which I never have been so much with comedy, but.
Right. But you've also, I mean, you've gotten success and positive feedback from comedy.
Right, that's true.
And you've gotten a certain measure of respect.
But
people in Austin love you.
Well, if you open your, like, if I was be funny at a party, they go, "Oh, that guy's funny." But the other thing was like, "Oh, don't sing, please." Whatever you do, that's harder to that's harder. If you say, "Andy, we've heard your voice, and don't do it," I'm only going to do it if I want to do it. You're not right that I'm not good. Whoever is yelling at you, the only way you're going to know is to do it.
Right.
And I just can't believe that I spent so long arguing with myself, although I guess I've been doing a lot of this. I wish in my 20s I'd been like this, but I guess that's just the way life is. When you are that young, sometimes you just...
You know, it's a one-way arrow on the timeline, so you just kind of, you know, at least, you know, you're smarter than you were in your 20s, you know. Then you won, as far as I'm concerned. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because, you know, what can you do? And I still contend that, you know, you found a path that was probably way more rewarding than music ever would have been.
Well, that's the thing that's, you know, it's like anybody can say, I can go, well, I wouldn't have wanted Dylan's career now, right? You can always say that.
Right.
But I do feel like I did music enough to know that it was harder work.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have, I mean, just realistically, you wouldn't have had a 30-year career in music.
Yeah.
You know, even if you had what anyone would consider success in the music business, the 30-year career is a fucking huge anomaly.
Especially and in music.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. In comedy, it's not.
It's not.
You
I know.
We're
Yeah.
all, you know, everyone we started with is still around. We're all there. 30 plus years, you know.
I think the thing is that as I'm getting better, I don't have to have the attitude, fuck you. I can do it, or fuck you, this is the way I am.
Right.
Because that's the thing that I really like. Fuck you, I don't want to make a call to go to a festival or whatever. It's like, we all wish that life would be, I wish that we all wish we had Brian Epstein, or I guess we don't.
Right.
But in lieu of that, you have to use your own skills to do it. So I'm looking forward to getting better at regular things.
I'm actually okay. I feel okay at regular things. I'm looking to get a little better at show business again, honestly.
Well,
just because I need to sort of re-engage creatively and commercially with the world again.
Right, but like a lot, let's say, like talked to you a few months ago, that you were feeling not, you're just going through different phases. You can see how just working on just doing it made you have all these breakthroughs, right?
I think so. I mean, I think, honestly, going to the improv is always a good barometer for where I'm at self-confidence wise,
Yeah.
Because that's either my inferiority complex is speaking or I'm feeling okay, and like last night, I felt like I totally belonged there. I felt,
Yeah.
I can walk up on stage and present something of equivalent quality to anyone else, And I didn't always feel that way because I just wasn't hanging out, so I didn't even know what anyone else was.
Yes.
So I just assumed I had, I wasn't as good.
I was so...
Yeah. But that's a 20-some-year-old feeling.
Right.
So, I'm as... comedy-wise, I'm as confident as I've probably ever been since I was irrationally confident as a kid,
Yeah, right.
So
that Dylan song, I was so much older than I'm younger than that now.
Right. So, so that all feels good. And, that's one way I need to grow. Because I have this sort of built-in shyness about me that just is not fucking compatible with what I need to do.
Well, that is true, is that I'm never, I'm probably, even like when I go to the festivals now, it's like, I used to do so many things where I would go to parties and to meet people or to, for the show business side of it. And so I'm tired sometimes. It's like, if it's a choice of what I want to do, maybe, I don't feel like I need to have to go to do that.
Right.
And that's a good thing to not have to feel.
Yeah. Everyone who needs to know you knows you in that situation.
And also, if it's fun, I would like to, it's like,
Sure.
I would like to have more fun.
But you can listen to your dread a little more.
I'm just so goddamn tired.
Yeah.
And, you better be right about the CPAP machine saving me.
I think I am. Did you take it to Texas?
I took it to Texas.
No problems.
Unbelievable. Well, why would it be that hard?
Oh, so I remembered my thing, by the way.
Yes.
Yesterday, Allison walks into the kitchen. I'm about 3 steps behind her. As she walks into the kitchen, she looks over towards the window, up towards the ceiling, and goes, "What the fuck?" And so I'm like 3 steps behind her. So I'm in those 3 steps, I'm imagining fucking anything.
Right. Intruder.
It could, well, I didn't get to intruder because I'm not you, but it could have been a leaky ceiling. There could have been a monkey. There could have been a time-space vortex swirling there the way she was looking at it. So I walk in and I'm standing behind her and I see above her head a bird is in our kitchen. So I see the bird fluttering over her head. So it looks like she was hit in the head really hard in a cartoon.
What, the bird was?
No, my wife.
Your wife, yeah.
Because she had a bird flying above her head. It didn't work at the improv last night either. I tried to tell this story at the improv last night, but this is true. This happened yesterday. So the bird is like trying to get out the window. It's flown into our house through this back door, which was open for the dogs, and is in our kitchen and just it's going bonk.
Did you know what kind of bird it was?
It's a small bird, small yard bird.
Not a hummingbird, though.
Not a hummingbird. Bigger than a hummingbird, smaller than a robin.
Right.
All right. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, boy,
okay.
Sounds like you've been doing a string
wren,
of interviews
a chickadee.
all day. You're so tired of hearing the same question.
So it's flitting again, it's just bonk, bonk, bonk against the window. So Allison, does the least helpful thing possible and grabs her phone so she can take pictures for Facebook.
Because you have to get them out. They're not supposed to be in.
Yeah,
They're
well,
not going to walk around calmly.
Like everything, one of the considerations was I could just leave. That was one of the
until
thoughts.
the bird goes, right?
Well, no, the bird, it's gonna work itself out. It's not gonna be pretty, but I could just leave. I didn't think that for long, but so I figured out fairly quickly what I had to do was get the window open and get the screen out of the window so the bird could fly out.
Oh, yeah,
This is in
yeah.
the kitchen.
The screen out of that window.
Yes.
Oh, because it wasn't going to go out here.
It wasn't going to fly back into the other room out the door. It had pretty much committed to its one possible route out, and it was through those windows.
It's almost crazy how we think,
So-
what if I open that door up again?
Yeah.
It'll come back.
So I get the window open as it's flitting, like very near my face.
You worried about rabies? I always worry
No,
about
I'm not worried
rabies.
about rabies, but I'm worried about bird contact.
Yes.
And I start to do it, and Allison runs outside because I'm getting the screen out, but she needed to sort of grab it from outside. She gets stung by a bee as the screen's coming out.
Oh, no.
And the dogs are barking, all like going crazy. It's the only time I wished I had a cat.
Well, how would a cat save it?
It would have ended the situation, let's just say.
With the bird?
Yes.
Oh, they go right for the birds, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It wouldn't have been pretty, but it would have been over. So the bird eventually flies out. I'm sure, I don't know.
Well, you don't have to keep in touch with the bird. To know that.
It went off to a bar, I'm sure. And Alice and I were just like, what the fuck just happened?
And how did Allison get a bad reaction to the sting?
No. We dumped some antihistamine down her quickly, just in case, but she got stung on her ear.
Oh.
On her earlobe. So
Oof. Well, did she know what kind of a creature? Was it a wasp?
No, I just heard a scream. And
Remember the joke where the guy goes on a hike? Well, this is the days when you could do homophobic jokes.
Oh, good.
And everyone loved it. I go with my friend, and this is when you could do homophobic jokes, and you wouldn't even have to explain
Right.
why the punchline would be this way. But and camping trip with me and my friend Al, and Al gets bitten on his. Well, I guess there's two guys. You're not saying it's you on the trip. Two guys go on a trip, and they're both men. And Al, he gets bit on his penis by a snake.
Yeah.
So then the other guy goes, I'm going to run back and get help.
Right.
And goes to the doctor. The doctor says you got to suck out the poison out of the. Now remember, I told you where he got bit, right?
The doctor says you're going to die.
That's it.
Yeah, okay.
Doctor says you're going to die. Well, he doesn't call his friend up. He goes back.
The people didn't see the phone next to my thing.
That's the cruelest thing you ever said. He could at least go back in person. But now, that's true. These days with the cell phones.
That's right.
What? Doctor says you're going to die. That is a very good joke. But it doesn't even have to be homophobic. It could just be you're germ-phobic. You don't want to suck the poison out of someone
Yeah,
else.
you're still.
It's still.
Yeah.
It works if it's homophobic.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
Wow.
Did you guys go out? I mean, did you make that ruin your day? No. It was a couple of minutes.
No, it flavored my day. I won't lie about it.
I still understand.
But it was fun to go up on stage last night and open with trying to tell this story on stage. That was fun.
How do you think you can convey that classic cartoon thing I couldn't remember?
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta.
Like a Hanna-Barbera. Like that's going to do it.
Right.
Who am I, Hanna or Barbera?
Yeah.
No?
No, probably
It's not gonna
not.
help.
Probably not the cell.
I don't understand the part of you that says, I'm going to leave and let it take care of it. How does that work, where you leave? You mean
'Cause
just go back upstairs?
It's just a bird banging itself against the window. Eventually, it's going to drop dead. Was sort of my point.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That one,
Or I could name it and feed it.
we grew a bird.
You
Me and
grew a
Susan,
bird?
we had a bird in her old apartment. It was like a dove.
Yeah.
And it was like this. It was like this big. I mean, it was the smallest thing I've ever seen in my life. And we fed it and we raised it until if we had kept it longer, it would have been very bad. And then we
Yeah.
took it to a thing.
Okay. And what did they say?
They don't say anything because you have to leave them there. You have to separate from the bird. We were really getting attached to this bird.
Yeah.
We love this bird.
Did they say like good job, or they're like this bird?
No. They said that if we let it go any further,
You sure that wasn't just a nice way of going? You pretty
blew
much.
it. Well, what were we supposed to do? The mother left the bird.
Yeah.
So the egg. What were we supposed to do? Just what would you recommend? Take it to the ASPCA for birds. I like when I fall out of a commitment to the character.
To the sentence.
Well, I think you did a good job, and I'm very glad you didn't turn your back on your bird or
I
your
was
wife.
never considering
I know.
it.
I would have. But
there was, because of it was the bug-like thing. It felt like it was a giant bug, in a way. You know?
It does,
so my
yeah.
first instinct was actually to sort of swat it, but of course I wasn't going to do that. But
I would.
it seemed like seemed like it was on the list.
Let me tell you something. I do not believe in cruelty to anyone at all. But if it's me or the bird, if I think I'm in danger, I'm going to go. I will do it. But I guess you wouldn't do that with a bird. If it was a rat,
big bird.
What about a rat?
Like if it was a seagull, then
Right.
it's like every
Some of them are mean.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
wasn't mean. This bird was just panicking. So, I wanted to help the bird,
Well-
obviously. It's a cute little bird.
Oh, so we would never have the instinctive.
But I remembered Larry Miller's bit about the fish who gets thrown back, talking to his friends at the bar. I was in the boat.
That's a great joke. That is a good Larry Miller joke right there. So you lived through it.
I lived through it. The bird lived through it, as far as I know. I saw it fly out beyond the horizon.
And how did it go on the set?
Set went good. It was fun. And overall, a good day.
Is that your signal for when we're going to letters?
I guess so. It felt transitional, didn't it?
Feel transitional to me. First of all, I am very proud of myself.
Oh, good.
I was very worried. I was very worried about how I would be tonight. I came in here, baby, and I knocked it out of the park, baby. I knocked it out of the park.
I don't have to do a lot of editing so far. We'll see.
That is good.
Which is good because Alex pulled that.
Could you do it a day earlier? I'm going to Jazz Fest in New Orleans.
Oh, I'm Alex Brazell, and you gotta go to see some jazz. If he really gets his feelings hurt about this, I'll be very sad.
That was purely my impression of your impression.
Yeah, baby. Hey, fellas, why don't you go to a festival? He doesn't talk that way.
No. His is annoying.
We have the same way of exiting material.
Yes. All right, we're going to questions.
Questions? We get letters.
All right. Clicking the hashtag.
And you had to do Test Show 51, right?
Yes. Chris says, love this thing. Episode 50 clip of 2013, Andy and Zach, I know, Josh, was too funny.
I just remember the inside joke.
Don't need a coffee cup, but would like to email $1 a show or something. I owe you $50 Canadian. Does thoughtspiralgmail.com work? Actually, no, it's thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com.
You're going to take the $50 he sends?
And let me finish, and please don't send money. Yet.
Yeah, but
I mean, eventually we'll have a mechanism that we will shake you all by the ankles, figuratively. But in the meantime, just love us, and you don't have to send us
But
money.
you know what would be good? A paywall would be good.
Yeah.
Bum.
Stand by your man. STANNED. Stand by your man. Do either of you carry a small notebook? If so, which ones? Around for jokes/concepts? Or have your phones replace those? Or is that not how you work anyway? The notebook is still the gold standard for me. I have like a half-page size artist sketchbook that I always use, like little hardcover sketchbooks.
Right, not the...
No, not lined.
What's the one that has a thing that goes around it that everyone talks about?
The Moleskine.
Yeah, or
I have a Moleskine, but I never use. I never use
would.
those. There's a spiral. There's a brand of spiral ones that I always use, and that works better because sometimes you just have to rip a page out.
Yeah, I used to fill up books of material that I somehow, the further I get in the book, the less chance would be that I go back. So what I do is I have books, but I also have just anything that I can write on pieces of paper, and I try and transfer it to the computer. And what I'm using now is notes. I'm using notes. Notes is what I use everywhere now because it backs up to the cloud. It backs up to your computer. So I use I'm trying to make it simpler for myself. So just in notes, jokes,
Right.
insult humor,
Right.
medical devices, lists of and that work. And the thing that's good about notes, I used to go, you don't want people getting your stuff if it's in the cloud, if it's sensitive numbers. I'm not worried about them taking my material.
Right.
From the cloud.
No need to worry about that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have to. I already
That's
made
an identity theft that no one would take on.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to do. I was already making
know.
fun of me. There's no reason for you to. I mean, it took like you took a couple of extra shots there. Do you write on the back side of a page?
Generally, no.
Neither do I, because I'm afraid I won't look back there.
Yeah.
Because when I'm writing my comedy, the last thing I can think about is being eco-friendly. You know what I'm saying?
I'll sometimes do on the backs of pages is I'll jot actual like life notes or a phone number on those off pages.
Oh.
So they're there.
I have pages through Apple. My Apple has pages.
Yeah.
And do you know that in Pages you can insert a note into the? What am I going to? Why am I inserting another note that is not in the document? If it's not in the document, you know what I mean. It's always me. I want to get more words out there. Why am I having less words? Why do they have footnotes? I guess what
you can hear all this in Andy's Pages chunk.
It's Andy's Pages junk. Whatever happened to Claris Works?
Am I right, office people?
Whether it's talking about. Hey, what's this deal with Excel?
By the way, Claris Works was a good reference.
It was a
Yeah,
good reference,
good.
right? I bet you can probably remember that. Excel spreadsheet. What is it?
No, you peaked at Claris
I did,
Works.
I did.
Yeah. Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto. He's already gotten a shout out.
That's true. That's true. So should I not read his question?
Please read it.
All right. Did no one ever hand young Andy the small guy's handbook? It says right in the foreword that when you're little, you need to be the scrappiest and have a touch of craziness.
Oh, what is this in reaction to?
I think to probably you being afraid of the dark, maybe last week.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's got the touch of the touch of craziness.
Well, I did
You're
speak
just
to
misusing it.
Well, I did speak to again, everything we talk about on the show goes right to my therapist for her. So I was talking to my therapist just about the way my mind works, that for 7 months or 8 months, I couldn't put together that one of the reasons why I was scared was because there were absolutely no lights on some of these streets.
Yeah.
So that just shows how I'm building this thing all the time of everything has to be a big struggle. Will Andy overcome his middle class roots and walk home in the pitch dark? But also my wife was worried about me. So that's a good reason to do things
That's
too.
fine.
But let's put all that aside and say
It's L.A. Driving 3 blocks isn't out of
it's
the
not
ordinary.
out of the thing. But I am still very scared, and that's I'm hoping to be less scared as I get various guns.
All right. Christy W. says, what's your favorite Yiddish word any of your family use which are not mainstream? My Austrian grandparents and great-grandparents used to say Kunststück.
Ooh.
It's a little
You know that one?
delicate. A little delicate. Seemed to mean understood, of course, goes without saying, you wish, etc.
Wow. I wish I knew more Yiddish.
Did it have a role in your house growing
Yeah,
up?
my father would say things like "nach a Stückel Fleisch," which is another piece of meat in both German and maybe because Yiddish is a combination of Hebrew, German, and I think a couple more languages.
Probably some Russian in there.
And they came up with it to hide the language.
Right. So probably not so much Russian.
But all the schmuck, I love schmuck. I like schmata. I like platz.
Yeah.
I like kvelling. I enjoy schmutz. Schmutz is a great word.
Right.
And all the words that mean penis are great. Schmuck, putz. And some of the words for shit. Like I like dreck better than the word shit.
Yeah.
It's dreck.
Yeah, but Drek doesn't have the actual
Shit.
Drek is crap,
It's crap.
not shit so much. It's a fine
that's
distinction.
interesting.
You
It's
know?
interesting. Yeah.
My parents used to do Erwest Gornisht.
My dad did that one too. What does that
Meaning
mean?
they know nothing, basically.
Say again?
They know nothing.
No, I mean, give me the Yiddish one.
Simel Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova.
How do you say it in Yiddish again?
I think it's Erwest Gornisht.
Gornished?
Or Gornish.
My dad said that all the time.
Yeah. Gornish being nothing, I think.
Right. It's a shanda. What does that mean? It's
A shame. A shame upon you.
That could be Hebrew.
Shanda is Yiddish for sure.
Oh. How about this word?
But my parents, that was like my parents' code, though. The Erves Gornished was
Gornished.
Their code was always like they would deploy it to each other when they were talking to someone non-Jewish who was clearly not going to be helpful. So there's no point in getting mad. So they would just go EVG and like there's no fucking point in having this argument with this person.
That's pretty mature.
Yeah, they were pretty mature people.
Yeah. But were they fluent or they not?
I don't know. They certainly weren't fluent. They had knowledge. I don't think they were conversant in it, but they knew a lot of phrases. Like my dad, I think was like one further generation removed from it, but he was also a language guy.
Right.
Like my mom's mom definitely had a pretty good Yiddish work. I think she grew up in a Yiddish house.
Yeah.
My dad's parents, I don't think they did, either of them.
My grandparents came from the. So what does that make me? If my grandmother and grandfather came from overseas, does that make me second generation? Or third generation?
You're a second generation American.
Ah. So they did. They spoke fluent Yiddish when they came over here.
Yeah, I think I never knew my mom's dad, but her mom, like that side of the family was more Yiddishy than my dad's side of the family.
I am embarrassed that I don't know more Yiddish because I would use more. It used to be a time in show business where knowing Yiddish, I think, was helpful. I mean, it's always bad to be Jewish at some point, like
right.
Cast Yiddish, right Yiddish, cast British.
Right.
You've heard that one, right?
Yeah.
But it used to be that there were a lot of Jews.
Like Laurence Olivier as the cantor in The Jazz Singer, starring Neil Diamond.
But it used to be like, oh, he's a landsman. What does that mean?
I'm not sure exactly. Yeah.
But it used to help you in a business meeting.
To be Jewish?
Yeah. Well, yeah, in the old days when a lot of those families that run the studios were Jews.
Right.
That if you were meeting with someone and you heard someone go, oh, he's a real smuck. Then you knew you got to.
Right, exactly. There's still a generation of people who, you see it in LA a lot, is pretty much anyone who's not a natural born American actually does want to know what you are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's much more common among immigrants to want to identify the nationality
that makes
of
sense.
another than for an American to try to suss it out.
Yeah, but Americans also, we think like these are all these names that we heard of were normal names. Jones.
I've dealt with a lot of Israeli people who are like make a point of calling out Weinstein as a Jewish name.
Right. You mean like
to let it's like a wink, like, hey,
yeah. Well, you can't.
We're both Jews here,
right? But if there was trouble, you would have to change your name. Kindler, I might be able to get by.
Get by unless they met you, like maybe on a list, but not once they met you.
Did you ever hear?
I passed the Jew detector quicker than you in person.
You think? Well, here's the other thing. I think Jews, because of the desire to assimilate, like my mother was so uncomfortable being one of the few Jews in her neighborhood.
So she went with Quaker.
She went with Christian, I think.
Okay.
And Quaker just happened to be the most fun. But the idea, for example, I really did think when I was a kid that I was unattractive or had a big nose. Now, I'm not saying my nose is small, but this idea that you'd have a big nose is definitely a cultural thing that you're thinking in your mind.
Yeah.
Like Ari Melber, I want to be a Jew that looks like Ari Melber because he's handsome. So I would always look at me and they go, oh, no, you look like Arnold Horshack. But the whole idea of thinking that a prominent nose looks bad is all from being
self-hating Jew.
That's right.
Right.
I don't have to tell a self-hating Jew about self-hate.
No, I've been self-hating since before you were loving yourself. Crab People says, have you guys ever gotten a pedicure? It looks pretty dope. No, I haven't. It doesn't look dope to me. It looks like it would make me kind of squirm out of my seat.
it bothers. Like my dad had the thickest toenails.
Yeah.
He had to go to a doctor, a podiatrist every 6 months to trim his nails because it was a mess down there. I'd have done.
Was it keratin debris?
What's that?
Keratin debris? I just saw a commercial.
Is keratin one of those fakey things that's
Probably
been around?
Not. It's probably a real thing, but
How about hexachlorophyll?
I don't know. But my CoQ10 is way the hell down.
Did you know that Prevagen was made from an element that was originally jellyfish based?
I did not know that. They should accentuate that because it makes it sound so much more credible.
Who's more cerebral than jellyfish? Have I used that joke, the exact joke? Because I'm still working on that bit.
Yes. So yeah, no, I generally like massages when I actually get them.
How about what I'm doing to you under the table right now?
That's more than a massage.
That's not my popcorn.
But I like them when I get them. But there's a big dread wall for me to break through in order to want someone to handle me.
Yeah, that is true. It's like my father, forget it. You could not. That would be the last thing he wanted, and don't even try it with him.
Yeah.
We're going to the spa.
Yeah, I don't like treatments.
I do get treatments and I do enjoy them, but it is hard to get up to do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how a guy could lose his keys in my ass. Did you not know why I was going for ass?
No, I was hoping.
Losing my keys in my ass. That's not my ass. It's not my keys. Hey, I'm updating
Those aren't my keys, yeah.
I'm updating that joke.
Uh-huh. Oh, why turn off the phone if you're going to look?
It was so stupid. How rude is that? And I look, and I told myself I wouldn't look. And look, I'm bad. I'm bad, Josh.
All right.
There's no way around it.
Come back, Andy.
Okay, I'm okay now.
Greg Kelly wants to know what should be the 51st state. Panic.
Is there a 51st state?
There is not.
It should be Puerto Rico.
Okay. They're in.
Is there anybody else who's waiting to get into?
Guam is kind of tapping their foot. What about us?
I don't think Guam should have its own state. If it wants to hook onto Puerto Rico's
never going to be a state.
What am I, from Guam?
Lone Shark wants to know, Josh, when doing 7 nights in a row like you did in Minneapolis, do you find each night gets progressively better, or is it more uneven than that? Also, have either of you ever performed at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, California, Marin County? No, I've never played the Throckmorton.
I have. It's really fun. It's in Mill Valley.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful theater, and it's a beautiful little town.
I would love to do it.
But my connection there has gone. Mark Pitter used to book the room.
Okay.
I don't know who books the room now, but it's always fun. What was the other part?
The other thing was about does each set get progressively better each night? Well, last week it was, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago, in Minneapolis, where it was, a 20-minute set of all new stuff. Some stuff got better each show. It wasn't like each show was better because the audiences are different. So I think Tuesday night was more fun than Wednesday in terms of the audience. I think.
Oh yeah.
But I think I did better with my material probably on Wednesday.
Right.
But the fun of doing it the first night when it's all new and it's all nervous and you don't even know if you have enough time, that was fun.
Yeah, and of course, the person asking, we explained that's not usually done the way. That was like a cool thing that you did. Oh, that was a very cool thing that you did with the. I wouldn't be like I'd be nervous about how it would go, but I'd be concerned. I'm sure you're a little concerned to do something like that rather than do your regular set. Yeah,
it's more the only uncomfortable thing, really uncomfortable, where you feel like really handcuffed, is you can't go to your material.
Right, that's right.
It's not like you'd prefer to do the old stuff, but just having the option of like that, that's what suffers is when you're doing your act that it's like your brain is making decisions very quickly. Oh, I should go to this. Oh, I should go to this.
Yeah, when it's all new.
And it happens seamlessly to the audience, hopefully, or pretty close to seamlessly. But when you I can't go to that because it locks you up for a second. It's like,
right.
What I'd really like to do is this bit, but what the fuck is that other new thing? You know?
Well, that's the thing too, is that when you do a situation where in 6 nights you have to produce 20 minutes of material, that's really like a fun project, but it does lock you into. Sometimes it'll take me 3 years to realize there's no joke there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that may be just my style because sometimes I just don't see the joke. So sometimes, because I always think people drop stuff because the crowd doesn't get it. You don't do that. But it is great. Comedy clubs over time is a great way to judge your material.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. You know, what happened for me is bits started to flow together into pieces, you know, into longer chunks, as I call them. And that over the course of the week, things kind of moved around within the set and chunked up with other jokes and became, you know, under bigger umbrella of an idea, which is good.
But you never know. I mean, it was 6 nights. It was 5 nights, right?
It was 5 nights, 7 shows.
Everything is different now. It used to be there were all these 6 night a week shows. So a lot of times I'll go to a city, like I went recently to this Houston joke joint, and I wanted to do well, but every single night I bombed.
Yeah.
It's like that could be the reason for it being uneven.
Right.
Is that the, you know.
Well, I got to say, though, and this is completely in your defense, at this point, you're booking Andy Kindler.
Right, you better know.
Like, if you don't know what the fuck that means,
yes,
then what the fuck are you doing running your club that way? you know what I mean?
Well, also,
I mean, it's fine. You know, like there was like Louis Lee who just wants you at his club, you know, and eventually everything worked out.
Right.
But not every club owner is like that. I mean, did they give you shit in Houston for not doing well?
No, because, well, the club owner was very nice, but I think he's just in a box. This club was a club that gave away tickets.
Right.
And if you have a club that papers the room, it's very hard to get it back.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, from my point of view, if he booked more alternative, you know, quote, alternative comedians, but then maybe I do better in that room. But sometimes you go, it's just not going to happen.
All right.
It's less that now, just based on the fact that people can see, they can look at a clip.
Right.
That's got to eliminate a lot of stuff, but it doesn't guarantee a good night.
Right. A free ticket's a free ticket.
I just can't believe when people, the more I go along in life, I just can't believe that people actually not know who they're seeing.
Yeah. Nick Kosei wants to know, Andy, have you ever considered what you ascribe as a moment of unexpected bravery when you were held up was actually an automatic prey mechanism kicking in the face of death, like when seals go limp during shark attacks? Nice of you to point out, Nick Kosei.
Well, what do you think?
I think he's probably right. There's nothing that says that you were being brave. It just says that at the perceived end of your life, you weren't panicking.
Right. It was just like I knew it was
chemical release.
Chemical release. That I knew it was curtains,
yeah.
And there was nothing I can do about it. But I'm no hero, and I think you said that to me maybe too much.
Yeah.
But that guy in that Waffle House, that to me is my concept of a hero. I don't know if I could have done that. Who took the gun away from the person? Yeah,
and I love the guy, and I especially love how he's like going. I was trying to save my life.
Yes.
It was not an act of heroism. It might have been an act of bravery. I mean, he didn't say that, but
yeah,
you know, but it wasn't. In his view, heroism, it was truly self-preservation that he was going for.
He thought he would be the next one shot, or he thought...
He already had been shot once, it seems like.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering if he got that graze
That was a grazed bullet.
Him.
No, and he burned his hand grabbing the muzzle of the gun. And
yeah.
Sounds like it was in a revolving door situation.
I would never let anybody... If that was me, no one would ever forget it. I'd have business cards made up. Hero.
All right.
Here's a
You'd
hero.
Have those you'd wear a cartoon ribbon.
Cartoon ribbon. I would. It's like I go to people's house and they go, "Oh, is that what you were in Vietnam?"
Right.
Yeah. Did you ever run up and take an AR-15 from a person? Yeah. Andy again with that? Yes, again with that. And tomorrow night again with that. And the next night we watch me on TV.
You do the GoFundMe. I ran out of my Kickstarter money. Now GoFundMe.
Yeah. Why am I not still? I'd be one of those people who a year later would say, What's happening in the country that we're not still calling me a hero?
Right. Justin E. wants to know, what's your favorite foreign country/city? Do you have an answer?
London.
London? I think Hong Kong might have beat out London for me.
And now I haven't been to Hong Kong. You've been to both.
I have.
So you're a seasoned traveler, if nothing else.
If nothing else, I'm seasoned. And tenderized.
Like, I'll tell you something. If you do travel with Josh, don't ever
I'm filming a movie.
Don't ever say you're all set on the rental car. Don't even bring it up. Because you rolled your eyes once so much that they actually went forward and back.
Yeah.
That's how
the Tex Avery do. Bauga.
Auga.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really like London a lot. I think,
I haven't been to Paris.
I haven't been to Paris either.
Or Italy.
But Hong Kong surprised, because it was so foreign, quote unquote, it surprised me how much I liked it.
You know what? I'm scared of eating food all the time. Sometimes I can get into that mode of like don't eat romaine now, right?
Yeah.
Because it's E. coli. I when I saw you guys in Hong Kong, I was like, would I get too scared to eat? I mean, I think I'd be scared the whole time to eat. Is what my fear is.
No, it's much less. If you're not scared in New York to eat, you wouldn't be scared in Hong Kong.
And is the food great?
There's tons of great food, yeah, but it's not like so third worldy, dirty that you'd be like, I can't eat here.
Oh, that's what I worry about with like the food trucks.
Yeah.
It's like at some point, I got deep dish Chicago pizza.
Yeah.
From one of these food trucks.
All right.
It was not like going to Illuminati's
Yeah.
in Chicago.
No, but you have to wait for 45 minutes at Illuminati's for your pizza.
Yeah, but this was not anything that I would want. You don't want the structure of
it was
deep
just
dish.
bad.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
Exactly. I'd rather have a thin crust bad pizza.
Yeah.
Than a big.
Well, not every truck is carrying a UPS package of goodness.
But there's this thing that's called Kogi. What's
the Koji tacos? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. The
Those
Korean.
A little too much cilantro for me, but
oh, is that one truck?
They have a fleet of them, but they were like big pioneers in the LA food truck scene.
I didn't even think about the cilantro.
Yeah.
If tomorrow I woke up and there was no more cilantro, I think I'd be okay.
I'd be so happy.
You don't like it at all?
I really don't. I can tolerate it in certain contexts, but like raw cilantro, hate it.
Yeah.
It poisons the whole thing.
What is it exactly? What is it doing? What's its point? Where would it be good? I don't even want to do... I don't like Chipotle. You like Chipotle?
I've never eat there.
But you wouldn't eat there now, right? Because everyone's getting sick.
No, I'd eat there now.
You would?
Yeah. I'll always eat at a place after they've had their health scare because they get extra careful.
I'm scared about the Chipotle. Scared about it. Scared out of my mind.
I Splotchy says, favorite poets and or poems?
What do you got?
I am a big fan of what the fuck's his name?
Robert Frost?
No, I like Robert Frost, but it's not who I'm thinking of. Black Harlem Renaissance.
James Baldwin?
No.
Langston Hughes.
Langston Hughes.
I like him
Thank you.
too.
I like Langston Hughes a lot.
Yeah. I like the snowy things and the thing.
That's
and
Frost, yeah.
I like Frost. I like Rumi.
Do you?
Yeah. But Rumi is that it is poetry kind of, right?
Yeah, it's Sufi poetry.
I wish I knew, and I like Allen Ginsberg. Howl, he said. I know so little about poetry that if we had to do another minute on it, it would be out the window.
Yeah. I couldn't even come up with Langston Hughes, and that was pretty much my one gun.
I do wish I read more poetry, and sometimes I'll tackle one of those New Yorker poems, and they are good. Sometimes.
I interviewed a former editor of the New Yorker poetry.
That must have been
today.
great.
Yeah.
When?
Today.
On your other show.
On the other show, yeah.
And so so what did you find out? It's just like it's a hard job.
Well, I found out it was a hard. He liked the job a lot, and it wasn't the main thrust of the conversation. There were other fun facts, like he was Jay Leno's college roommate in their freshman year at Emerson.
What was that all about?
He said the first time he met him, Jay said, "What do you want to do?" And he goes, "I don't know. I'm thinking about poetry," I think he said. And he said, "What do you want to do?" to Jay. And Jay said, "I'm going to host the Tonight Show."
Oh, my God. That's frightening in a way.
I know, isn't it?
Oh. And would I know this guy's name?
It is Robin something.
Okay, but if I read the New Yorker all the time. I'm a big.
He's not with the New Yorker anymore. He hasn't been for years. He's been a.
I just want people to know.
He's directing a documentary about the Manson family, not the Manson family, the actual Manson family, the genetic family of Charles Manson.
I don't even understand what you just said to me. How could it not be
Charles Manson's family as opposed to the Manson family? The Manson family is a crime organization, whereas Charles Manson's family was the family he came from.
the actual Charles Manson.
Yeah.
His name was Man's son. Get it? Now do you want to go and chop up people?
Do I?
I don't understand the hippie murderer thing. Would you ever feel he could? I'm going to tell you something right now. That guy, I don't care how persuasive he was not getting me on his Charles Manson bus. I don't see one thing.
And if he did, you'd be asked to leave the bus.
Can you believe it?
Soon.
If I was part of his family, there may have not been a murder.
No. Well, there would have been one.
This sounds fascinating, though. Do you know? Do you happen to know if he has any other weird characters?
Well, he actually. The focus of it is Manson's grandson, who's the guy who actually got custody of Manson's body from the court and had the funeral and stuff. So this guy I was talking to, Robin, actually he's doing this documentary, and he actually basically arranged Manson's funeral.
The grandson. No,
this guy Robin helped arrange it. In coordination with the grandson, because he had to find an off the radar place to do it.
What's the grandson's name?
I don't.
It's not Manson.
It's not Manson, but his father was Charles Manson Jr., who committed suicide in his early 40s because he couldn't handle being fucking Charles Manson.
But he wasn't a criminal or necessarily.
No, I think he was a pre-Manson family marriage, or a pre-Manson family coupling that produced.
Right. And what's the grandson? Did he say what the grandson's like?
Well, the grandson is trying to break this cycle of abandonment in this family because Manson had been totally abandoned as a kid by his criminal mother and father, and then the grandson was abandoned by his father when he committed suicide. So the grandson is trying to sort of break this cycle in his family, and
right.
And, he had been in contact with Manson in jail the last 5 years of his life. Never actually got to meet him in person. But had talked to him on the phone.
You don't have to say got to meet him. You make it sound
he wanted to.
He wanted to. That makes
it was
sense.
his grandfather.
Yeah.
So he was trying to make sense of all this shit.
I want to see this documentary.
It hasn't been fully made yet, but
God.
he's been shooting a lot of it, and he said there was 12 people at Manson's funeral.
I don't know why that makes me laugh. Oh my God!
Because I asked, I was curious how many people.
12 people.
Yeah, he said 12. Yeah.
Was there anybody we would know, like Geraldo Rivera?
No, I mean, he was very much trying to keep the media away, partially because he's making his own doc.
Yes.
And partially because he didn't want it to be.
If my grandfather was Charles Manson, it would have been rough on me.
Yes.
That's all I care about.
Aaron Raymer says, I know the goal has been for Andy Kindler to be sober during the podcast. No, that's not the goal.
Yeah, why are you so... Everyone's saying you're
have you considered doing an ep like Getting High with Doug?
Yeah.
Or Getting Doug with High, whatever it's called.
Right.
Maybe getting Andy with Inebriated, or getting Weinstein with Wasted. So yes, we've done that episode.
We did, and we got nobody even said anything, right?
A couple people. But I think I spoke to this earlier, where my goal isn't to get Andy sober. My goal is to get him to stop panicking about losing his memory.
Yeah, so we can accept. So stop with the nasty letters to Josh.
Yes.
This is not a game to take sides.
Justin E. says, what would Dennis Miller sound like teaching people to do the cha-cha? Choo-chee.
1, 2, 3, 4, cha, 2, 3, 4, cha, cha,
1, 2, 3, cha, 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 cha. And we're going to do the cha-cha tonight, choo-choo.
I think something like that. Here's Joe. And again, I'd like to ask if you'd please go back to Stony shows. Not Andy's hallucinogenic level edibles. Puff, puff, past prolonged laughter.
Yeah, but people are so upset just in general that you put a kibosh. Let me say this. If you don't like the show, I can guarantee you it's probably not because of the weed.
Sobriety we're bringing to the table, yeah.
Although I will guarantee you that if I'm too high, I shouldn't be doing the show because I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Right. I would agree with that.
But there's nothing going on here. I'm sorry that Josh had to be the bad guy.
Here's what I think is that anytime that the public is trying to determine when or I get intoxicated or not, it's not a healthy situation.
Sounds like yeah, anything that's like, why don't you try?
Right.
If that's what you're going.
I think we're going to make choices along the way.
That's true.
Sometimes it'll lead us down the stony path.
Well,
but I just can't take the pressure from outside on when I should get stoned or get Andy stoned.
No, we can't. It's also something that's not going to be. It's not going to be a thing. We'll do maybe we'll take mushrooms.
Well, sure, that's good radio. Kathy McCarty.
That's Kathy.
There you go.
Who's in the picture?
Yes. I want to say that if you guys don't work up a Smothers Brothers type act where you sing in harmony together, original songs preferred like Karen and For Sure, interspersed with political shtick and Good Morning Mr. Weinstein improv, then you hate and fear success.
That's true. That's a good point.
Probably true.
Mr. Weinstein, please come here. I have a very important thing. Mr. Weinstein,
You're
please.
not going to trick me again, are you?
Mr. Weinstein.
This isn't another you're just going to say my name over and over again.
I implore you, Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein.
Mr. Kindler, please. I have actual work to do.
Mr. Weinstein, your work habits are not important. All I know is the kind of the tone of those English type shows.
Right.
The tone. I like those English shows.
Faulty logic.
Faulty logic. I like those British shows where they're, I think I'm getting old. Because I'm almost ready to watch Murder, She Wrote even.
Really?
I love these mystery things from, not Murder, She Wrote. But, hey, how come Murder, She Wrote? How come they never investigate Angela Lansbury, huh? She's at every killing. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good.
It was not really.
It was an awesome joke in 1988 by everybody.
I never really did that joke.
No,
so
of course you didn't.
I do a good Marcus Welby impression, though. You know, by the guy, the first scene of Marcus Welby, he goes, oh my, and he goes to Marcus Welby. And then Marcus Welby goes, I don't know, something with your heart, well, I got to go on this trip, though. Marcus Welby says, don't go on that trip. He goes on the trip. He's on the plane. All of a sudden, next scene, he's waking up in Consuelo, and Marcus Welby is saying, "What did I tell you not to go on that stupid trip, asshole?"
Did Marcus Welby do Shame?
No, he was the kindest. We loved him.
That's what I thought.
Although the other show he was in was unwatchable.
Father Knows Best?
Yeah, unwatchable.
I watched it.
I did too.
I didn't watch Marcus Welby.
I did watch Father Knows Best. Marcus Welby had to be the age it came on was when I was a kid.
Yeah. It never worked for me in reruns.
2 hours later, Dr. Kildare. Now that was a show.
Never seen an episode of Dr. Kildare.
I used to. And how about Ben Casey?
I've never seen a Ben Casey. I've seen clips of both, obviously.
The Defenders?
I've seen The Defenders, yes.
Judge for the Defense?
No. Ironsides, yes. Perry Mason, yes.
Who's Harry Manson?
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason. I used to love Perry Mason. I could not watch that now.
No.
Ironside was a pretty good show, I thought. Is that it?
Sure.
What if you were stuck on do you think you would go right to chopping me up and eating me if we were on an island together dying? Or would you bang me over the head when I wasn't looking?
Well, no, I would keep you around for company until I saw you, really getting emaciated. I wouldn't want you to get fully emaciated before killing you for food.
Because you wouldn't be as tasty?
Well, you just wouldn't be as much.
Would you kill me first before eating me?
Yes, that I promise.
What I don't want to get. I just want to tell you, this whole thing with torture. Let's cut it out.
It would be totally utilitarian. There would be no torture.
There would be no torture.
Make sure it was painless. I would make sure you were asleep.
Yes, like
I would wait. I would wait for the cover of your CPAP machine.
I would love to be on a desert island with just my CPAP machine.
Yes,
and that would be all I'd be concerned about. We better get help. Well, excuse me. I'm setting up my CPAP machine.
That's how you know you're getting old. People stop asking you what albums you're bringing to the desert island, and they start asking you which medical devices you're bringing.
I would bring a
my CPAP
machine,
my self-contained catheter.
I'll tell you, Josh, is this a joke from God? These catheters?
Oh man!
Every name of them is the almost painless,
Right.
The self-lubricating catheter. And all I can say is, why would you have to add your own lubricant? Everything they say there is every catheter should be that way. Almost painless. What's the one that goes with the locked-in catheter?
Right.
What is it for? Is it goes down your penis?
It goes up your penis. I like to think of it as.
Can you avoid it somehow?
Good prostate health.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it is nice to know that I've seen a lot of those commercials. So should I have an emergency, or should I be order
you will
one?
still be able to fly your stunt plane for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Does that one just come online? Because I can't get enough of that guy.
He's been on for a long time.
He tries just why? It's like, hey, if he can do
I
that,
take out 4 or 5 of them. I'm out all day.
I'm allowed all day. Almost painless. Did you ever have to have a catheter? I did.
Yes.
When I had my appendix, and right now I'm putting my legs together,
Yeah.
because I can feel the pain.
Yeah.
They said to me, what did they say to me? If I didn't pee, they would have to take it out or something. That then somehow got me. If you don't pee in a certain amount of time, they take it out, or I don't know. Maybe they weren't connected with the hospital. Did I ever tell you that when I had my appendix out, and this is a true story, that when I came to, I thought I was in a Nazi camp, and that I was being worked on by Nazi doctors.
Wow.
And I just had to be restrained, and that this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And I felt like, they was like, this happens all the time. Always the Nazis, though? No, not always the Nazis.
Often the Nazis.
If you're lucky.
On a related note, I had a friend in high school named Paul Steggy, who once bolted upright in bed, whistled the Hogan's Heroes theme, and went back to sleep.
Were you there?
No.
Oh.
But it was corroborated by his brother.
Is that one bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum 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 bum? Where does it go from there? Ba da ba da ba da. Where the heck are we? That's a different show. But didn't you love? Did you watch? I watched that show like too much. Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought it was like, what a cool thing that they get to go out at night.
It was so cool. Yeah, absolutely. It was like total boy-kid fantasy.
Yeah, French guy. Why is there a French guy there?
It was international. We had to fit more stereotypes into the Colonel.
What happened to Kindler, ultimately?
He hosted the Family Feud.
That was Bob. That was
Richard Dawson.
I forgot Richard Dawson was in there.
Ivan Dixon is who you're thinking of. Who played Kinch.
Kinchlow.
But they called him Kinch.
Kinch. We'll never be able to get this time back.
Tommy Barcanero.
Barcanero.
Hey,
Barcanero.
Is there something about the art of stand-up comedy that helps a lot of comics succeed at dramatic acting? It feels like the number of comics who can act is much higher than the number of actors who can perform comedy. I think, if anything, it's that we're all drama queens, but it's also that we're highly observant. Comics are highly observant people. So.
I never thought of that. It means to help acting?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think they've been more observant of behavior a lot of the time.
And I feel like just the fact that you are saying things into a microphone, your acting gets better just by being yourself.
Right.
Almost by definition. But then there are some people who just can't act.
Absolutely.
Don't look at me.
I might be one of them.
Why are you looking at me that way? I'll tell you though, acting is for me.
I just got an offer for an acting gig today that I can talk about later.
Why not now? For next week?
Maybe not next week,
Okay.
but when I find out if it's...
So you're not turning it down?
I'm not turning it down.
Oh, beautiful. Just give me... I'm not saying I'm going to call up and steal it, but just give me the details.
It's a 5'7" jockey. I don't know what's going on. Someone said...
What? You're replacing me on the fiddling horse?
We're a little worried about our choice.
CJ, when I get a hold of you, CJ.
Svenjamin wants to know, did Andy have any memorable meals with Phil Rosenthal while working on Raymond?
Oh, that is a great question. Even though I hate when people say it's a great question, unbelievable meals. Everything from Sushi Nozawa, which was the greatest sushi place in the world, to Mozza, which is a great pizza place, to everything. He enjoys food, and he knows that I've paid for a couple of meals when I've taken him out a couple of times just to make it look
Right.
One time we went to that place, the Lobster House in Santa Monica. That was good.
Yeah.
It's always good when you're dining with someone who has unlimited funds. And you go, oh, no, Phil, you really can't get the $1,000 bottle of champagne. It's not right. Boom. There you go.
Is he extravagant?
No. He's not extravagant, but he's the kind of guy who enjoys the actual material food. In other words, like, it's not like he loves food. So, he's doing it to love it.
But if there was that $1,000 bottle and it was fucking awesome, would he get it just because it's fucking awesome? Or would he go, I don't need that?
I think he would get it if it was awesome.
Okay.
But he's also Jewish, so he might go, $1,000 for some champagne? I don't think so. No? How come I can't do a Jewish voice?
No, it was weird.
No? This is my whole life.
Foreskin grew back a little during that.
This is my voice. This is my example my whole life. No? Okay, how about this? No?
Dan Bolmgren, after the Acme Crash and Burn Week, Josh, do you think you could come up with 5 minutes of extreme in-joke, hyper-referential material on or about the Beatles? And then would Andy be able to cook up a similar 5 minutes on the Grateful Dead, presenting each chunk next show? Yes, I could, and no, I won't.
Yeah, what is it with people writing in now? I mean,
I say requests, but that's a little much.
I mean, everyone knows I can't even get my own work done rather than an assignment.
So go back to Hamburg, Stu Stuckliff.
I do encourage everybody to check out that Dennis Miller's back, and it's like
over on
he's just it's
.com.
He's just literally it's a reference factory. And it's like calling a Scotzi in Greece. Sorry. Very sorry about that.
Tweet Bahara.
I just saw you live.
And he wants to know, Andy, where did you eat in Austin? Thanks for hanging with us. Hi to Susan.
We were all hanging out outside. I went to this place that I loved that Rosie took us to. Rosie Flores, the famous musician. I don't drop names because I drop names. I'm just an asshole. But we went to Justine's, which was a great French place.
Yeah.
In Austin. That was one meal that we had. You know, sometimes I don't get to go out because I'm performing and stuff.
Right, and the swarms of people.
Yeah, and but they do have great barbecue. They have great food there. And this meal at Justine's was French. It was great.
Excellent. Kenny Loggins III.
Every time I see that.
If Kenny Loggins were to write an 80s style movie theme song for Thought Spiral, a la Caddyshack, Footloose, Top Gun,
yeah,
what would it sound like?
Gotta thought spiral. Thought spiral. More than the thoughts that don't spiral. Hey ho, yours thoughts. Hoo. No.
I'm not well. You should probably worry about me. I'm going to... I don't know.
What song is that?
It was Caddyshack.
Did Kenny Loggins write that song?
Yeah.
Oh, dan. Okay, this is getting worse.
I'm all right.
Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
I'm beginning to think.
I zagged.
You went right.
I'm not well instead of I'm all right. You see.
Oh, that's why you're the king of song parodies.
That's why I'm the king of song parodies.
Is that the Smothers Brothers rhyming that they wanted?
Yes.
Mom always liked you
Two
best.
birds, one stone. Bing, bing.
Bang, bang, bang. Why don't we do Bridge Over Troubled Water? We do a good version of that.
We totally should. Not courtesy. Also said courtesy. I love Andy, and it's been great to be introduced to Josh, who is great. I have an improv request for Andy and or Josh. Ricky Gervais as a fast food worker. Oh, you're much too fat to be ordering that.
Yes.
What, did I offend you?
Good. Yes.
I put my dick in your cheeseburger. Did that offend you?
Are you a transgendered person? I mean, really? Why would a transgendered person come in? I can't do any accents.
Derek Frauci wants to know, what's your favorite song from a band you don't like? Example, I don't like Styx, but I think their song Renegade rocks, says. Yeah.
It's the song that closes out The Sopranos. I love that song, and I would never have loved it. Is it Journey?
Oh, that closes the whole series?
It closes the whole series.
Don't Stop Believing?
Yeah. That song I love now.
Okay.
And I don't like Journey that much. Is it Journey?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I like bands that I don't like that I like a song. I kind of like the song Fix You by Coldplay.
Oh, you see, that would be, I don't know any Coldplay songs that I like, so I'm going to listen to that.
Yeah, I don't like Coldplay.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that song.
But, I mean, why do we like Coldplay so intensely dislike them?
It's not, you're thinking of Nickelback, I think.
No, Nickelback. No, I'm talking about Coldplay, the guy who used to go out with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. Because they're girl music.
Coldplay. I don't even like the name.
Yeah, I don't either, but I like that song.
Fix You.
Yeah.
Okay.
Velvety wants to know, will either Josh Weinstein and or Andy Kindler come perform in New York City?
Well, I know that I'm going to be there in Union Hall every Thanksgiving. I think I'm even booked for this Thanksgiving. Otherwise, I don't go to New York that much.
Yeah, I don't either, but
I have family there.
I have performed in New York on Broadway twice.
For Cinematic Titanic?
Yes. But
it sounded like you were name dropping Broadway.
Really?
There.
I was place dropping, actually. Carmen Lynch, who I worked with at Acme, gave me a big, nice, comprehensive list of contacts for people at clubs in New York.
Oh, cool.
I'm psyching up to do a trip to New York. So
yeah, that would be good.
So we'll let you know on the show if it's happening. Brian Salerson says, Andy, I saw you on an old episode of Larry Sanders where you got bumped.
Yeah.
You seem so serious and not that funny. Just wondering if you ever worked things out with Bob Odenkirk and Janine Garofalo and got to appear on the Larry Sanders show.
No, my act was cut because of the war between Stevie, who was Bob Odenkirk's character, and Paula, who was Janine's character. I was a casualty of it. However, in real life, it was supposed to be Rick Overton. He was out of town.
Really?
And it is interesting that my part wasn't, say, so funny. Really, it wasn't supposed to be that hilarious. Is my excuse for when I don't generate laughs. But I was very nervous. That was like these were my heroes. Yeah. All these people, Rip Torn. I was like, it was almost like being on the set. You're like, hi, you people are so good.
All right.
So, but it was fun.
The Plymouth Jim says Karen is this generation's Layla, albeit with a CPAP machine in place of rails of coke.
You know what? I'm getting more and more excited about Karen.
Are you?
Not really. No, I love it. I do love it.
Don't waste your time on Karen.
You need someone who will help you be strong.
Michelle Wisecarver.
Hi, Michelle.
Test Show 50 was superb. Loved the piece from Cartoon Dump. I was laughing so hard I had to pull the car over. Question, are either of you multilingual? Wondering because I'm bilingual. My late mom was German and taught me, parenthetically, probably not your fave language, I guess. Sad emoji face. Because what says Holocaust more than sad emoji face?
No, I'm not multilingual at all. How about you?
No, I had a lot of Hebrew. I had a lot of French. I had both those things too. I had a tiny bit of Chinese.
No Chinese.
And none of them took.
How'd you try to learn Chinese? Did you use Babbel?
No, I had a teacher. It was a high school, like an exchange teacher.
Before you went over for the thing?
Not related.
You went and
would not
studied
have been
Chinese on your own?
When I was in high school.
It's like studying Chinese.
I took a semester of Chinese, and it was
hard.
Ridiculous. Like a total waste.
Did you want to bail
quickly?
Like
a waste of time. Ridiculous.
I took French from English teachers, like New York accent teachers. But that's the one language I would like to learn because I know some words in there.
I would like to learn Spanish. If I were to learn any language now, and I have used not Babbel, I used the other app-based
Abacus? No, is that what's it called? Ozymandias?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I did it for a long time, but I didn't retain a lot of it.
When you were doing it, it was working?
I was being successful lesson by lesson.
Right.
But I couldn't retain it. And put
you
it
have
all
to kind
together.
of. I think you have to go to the.
It's pretty. Yeah.
You do that
immersion is the thing.
Yeah.
But like immersion with like Cantonese,
Forget it.
Would never happen.
There's no way you could do it. Although I did notice now at the airport, because I'm not an observational guy sometimes, I did notice all the pictures. Like I could tell that's an elevator just from 2 arrows going up and down. So when foreign people come here,
Yeah.
it's pretty clever whoever came up with that.
I'm tuning into all the international symbols.
Yeah, like they have an escalator and it's just like a person on the escalator. It's crazy.
That is useful.
And it has an arrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of arrows,
That's not a good segue. Speaking of arrows, you know the
hopefully one will sail through the air and land in your chest.
Oh, that would be good. That would be a great way to go. I would like to go that way. No, in my sleep. Don't want to go by devil.
I want to be shot by an arrow in my sleep.
No, but
You can have both. You can have both, is what I'm saying.
I'd like to wake you up one night with a Steve Martin like arrow around my head.
Yeah, and I'd think, oh shit, I'm in a Nazi concentration camp. And Jerry
told you.
Lewis is trying to entertain me.
I told you to never make fun of that anymore, of my appendix. Well, Josh, I
I can
think
put the story of your appendix in that section at the end of the book.
I laughed for real there. I laughed for real. But then I did hate that I laughed at it. Appendix. What's next? Huh?
So if you want to talk to us during the week, I promise we'll get caught up with the email this week, and
Yeah.
you'll be on that list. Write us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. If you'd like to buy a shirt or a mug, go to Zazzle.com, enter Thought Spiral. They'll get you there.
If you want us to come to your city,
Make that happen somehow.
No?
Yeah.
Just think of
Make
it.
very specific and successful
Yes.
arrangements, and we'll be there. Please go to iTunes and rate us and review us. That's helpful, and we love you for it. And buy my movie, I Need You to Kill, at Amazon, Google Play, or iTunes.
did you tell them to check out the new podcast, Thought Spiral?
You should check out our podcast,
Thought Spiral?
Thought Spiral.
If you like Thought Spiral, check out the podcast.
Right. That's all I have.
That's all I have, and I really wish I could be better. I want the ending to always be, a big rock 'em, but maybe the ending shouldn't be big for this show. It would be distracting.
Maybe. It would be. I mean, it would be. Well, what you don't want is for people to hope the ending comes soon, because it's going to be so great.
Mr. Weinstein, we must end the show. Mr. Weinstein, come in here, please.
I'm here.
We must end the show, Mr. Weinstein.
How do you propose we do such a thing?
Well, if we wrote during the week, we would come up with different endings, and they probably wouldn't work. For example, if I worked on my English accent all week, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work at all.
I think we have to make it do like some kind of a trick. Like they don't think it's going to end now, but then maybe that wasn't good. That's what I like. Some kind of ending that they don't see.
Right.
How about we end by throwing a piano? What did they do in that song? They threw a piano off a building? And woke up, got out of bed.
No, they all played a chord.
You know what would be good? Would you just kill me to end the show?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Josh, Josh, you're choking me, Josh.
Damn, the first time he ever committed and I killed him.